Welcome back, everyone, to the Huddle Up Podcast. This is the 5 Observations with Big Jim, the host of the Huddle Up Podcast, which you can, of course, find on Facebook.com, Twitter, at Huddle Up Podcast, and on our YouTube page each and every Tuesday night live, starting at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. You can subscribe on all podcast platforms. Make sure you check out our merchandise over at tpublic.com. We're also on TikTok. You can find the link tree on Twitter, Facebook, and our YouTube page. So make sure you are following along with us there. And that is the best way to keep track of everything Huddle Up related. Before I jump into the observations for this week, this is the second week of it. I hope you enjoyed the first one. If you are subscribed to us on the podcast feed, you've probably noticed with the addition of our normal weekly live show, we now have the 5 Observations with me, which come out Friday night, Saturday night, maybe sometimes on Sunday. I'll drag it out and do an instant reaction pod sort of a situation to the weekend that was in football, especially the NFL. Well, you noticed this week the new 5 for Fighting with Mike Bernier. So thank you to Big Mac, for getting that started. That is a weekly NHL show that Mike will be doing on the feed. So you're going to start seeing these additional shorter version shows. The one from me, the one from Mike, starting maybe as soon as this week. Ernest EJ Christian, who is a weekly contributor to the regular Huddle Up Podcast live show, will be starting an NBA show. So you can expect to see that within the coming weeks, where he will be giving some kind of observations, thoughts on the current state of the National Basketball Association. And we may be seeing some MLS or World Cup coverage from Matt, and maybe some other things as well. So, look, this isn't, we're never going to ask you to turn in your work or prove that you've listened to everything. This is just bonus coverage. We have a great team here at the Huddle Up Podcast, and I want to thank Ernest, Mike, Matt, Kyle, of course, my brother Sean, who is life is kind of keeping him away from the feed. Same with Dave as well. We have built a tremendous team with the Huddle Up Podcast, and I want to thank each and every one of the guys for contributing to that. And the show and the brand and everything is really heading in a direction that I've always kind of wanted it to be. I've been doing this for 9 years now, and I just have a tremendous team of guys here. So I want to publicly thank them for everything they do to contribute to the Huddle Up Podcast. But yeah, mix and match. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to listen to. I know with between radio shows, podcasts, TV shows, movies, sports, there's a lot of content to take in. So we're giving you more. We enjoy producing it. Listen when you can. We certainly do appreciate all the support as always. And the thing I always say is, if you enjoy our show, if you enjoy our product, please share it with at least one person that you think will enjoy it as well, and encourage them to do the same. And we'll continue to grow the brand that is the Huddle Up Podcast, and we certainly do appreciate all of that. So now let's get into the observations here. Starting with the World Series. Last night, unfortunately, the Phillies fell in Game 5. They lost. They got combined no hit in Game 4 on Wednesday. The Astros now lead the series 3-2. Astros need one more win. The Phillies need to win out. Currently, as I'm recording this, it's Friday night. I have a busy weekend on tap, and I wanted to make sure that I got the observations out. So that's why you're getting it a day early from me this week, as opposed to last week. I got it out Saturday night, but this will be the general time frame. It'll be a weekend release. But Currently tonight, no baseball. It is the last off day of the baseball season. But to me, this World Series, and it's not just the World Series, it's kind of been the new playoff format has kind of felt a little rushed, to me. There was 2 off days, in this World Series. And I don't know. It just seems like they're trying to buzz it through. And I mean, if you go back to the championship series, if it would have went if they all would have went to Game 7, it would have been, I believe, there was games 1 and 2, then there was an off day, and then I think 3 through 7 were bam bam, like all in a row. There wasn't another off day. So like I don't know, and maybe if you're a baseball fan and you can answer this question better than me, feel free to reach out to the show. But like I don't know if it's just a situation of their running out of days and they want to get it in before the middle of November. They don't want to be playing baseball on Thanksgiving, but like, maybe figure it out to start. Pitchers and catchers reported a week earlier, and preseason or the exhibition games start a week earlier and stuff like that. So that, you can get this thing in, but still give proper numbers of days off and things like that. It just feels like there's a bit too much of like a hurry factor with the new. I like the new format, by the way. This isn't everybody complaining about, oh, the Phillies shouldn't have been in the World Series anyway. They weren't any good. They probably shouldn't even have been in the playoffs. No, that's not what this is. This is just I would like to see maybe a little bit more time, whether it's not, in between rounds, they had all those off days before the World Series started when they could have just had both teams start hot in the World Series right after the championship round. But it needs tweaking, I think. I think it's I think it's good. I like the expanded format. I like the wild card play-in series as opposed to a play-in game. If you know me, I've never been a fan of the play-in game. So, it's good. It just needs tweaking. In terms of the World Series, though, look, I'm not giving up on the Phillies. Do I think they could still win it all? Absolutely. This is a team that's resilient. I mean, you go back to July, you wouldn't have believed that they were even in the playoffs, much less a World Series. So, certainly not giving up on them. Yeah, it's cliche. Does tomorrow night, Saturday's a must win? Absolutely. But, if you can get a win and you can force a Game 7, if you're a sports fan, especially if sports, baseball, basketball, hockey, that are a series, for a fact that series, weird things can happen in Game 7s. So get there. You get there. That's all you can do. You get there, you play the maximum number of days in this series that you can get. Phillies fans that are quick to judge, quick to hate their team. Look, I get you're frustrated, but put it in perspective. Go back and tell yourself in July that you're going to be at Game 6 of the World Series, and then think about it. When you want to send hate tweets to players and managers, think about where you were in June. Think about where you were in July. And then tell me that that's the smart play right now. And I saw a tweet from Nick Castellanos' wife that said Phillies fans had taken a swing at them. Look, Philly fans, the good Philly fans, and believe me, look, there are infinitely more good Philadelphia sports fans than there are bad. There's infinitely more good sports fans than there are bad, but it's always the bad that gets the attention, right? It's always the bad that gets the headlines. And this does not help the cause for Philadelphia. The tweet from Nick Castellanos' wife. And look, the individuals that took a swing or said things or tried to harm in any way, verbal or physical, any player's family, hell, any players, but especially any player's family, those people should not be allowed anywhere near not only a major league park, but any sporting facility, because that's disgusting. That's gross. It's a game, man. It's a game, and I know. Look, I'm a sports fan. I get mad. I ride the roller coaster with all of my teams. Ask my friends. Ask my wife. It, playoffs and tight games are no fun. I get it. But to threaten to try to harm somebody, especially somebody's family, what did his wife do? What did his kids do? Come on. It doesn't help your cause. And it makes it harder for the good Philly fans or good sports fans to defend that city, to defend that reputation. And say, no, it's not really like that. Oh, yeah, well, here's this. Oh, yeah, well, here's this and this and this. Think about that. That's on you. But the Phillies are still alive. Obviously, must win. But if the Phillies can win 2 games in a row. They can win in Houston. They've done it already. Got to start Saturday night. My second observation from this week, the Los Angeles Rams are in big trouble. Big trouble. Big trouble. The defending Super Bowl champions are now in a real tough spot because they're aged veteran quarterback. His arm's falling apart. He looks tired. He looks slow. Offensive line's not helping him. Doesn't have a run game. Cooper Kupp's banged up. You don't have Odell Beckham this year. You don't have Von Miller this year. It's a different Rams team. They're sitting at 3-4. Like, it's not even that they might not win the West. They may not make the playoffs, period. Playoffs? Oh, we're not. We're doing that again. No, we're not. I'll do my best. But they may not make the playoffs, man. And if you look at this is what the Rams did. They went out and they went all in. They put all the chips in the middle of the table. I won a Super Bowl and I want it now. Don't we all? Jerry Jones, can you do that? Can you put all your chips in the middle of the table? Because I'm a Cowboys fan, Jerry. Are you listening, Jerry? I want a Super Bowl now. Give me a Super Bowl now, please. But the Rams went all in. And it worked. Rams won the Super Bowl. This year, they may not make the playoffs. Playoffs? Was it worth it? Like, do you want, as a franchise, as a sports fan, do you want your team to win a championship, or do you want your team to try to build a dynasty? Okay, dynasties are hard, man. You had the Patriots, you had the Cowboys in the 90s, you almost had the Bills in the early 90s. I call that like a dynasty adjacent because they went to 4 straight Super Bowls. That ain't easy to do. You've had the Niners, you had the Steelers long ago. Dynasties are come and go, man. You've had them in other sports too. But you've also had fringe championship teams, one and dones. Marlins have been it. Diamondbacks have been it. The Ravens, they've won a couple in there, but it's like they win one, they go down, build back up, win one, fall back down a little bit. Like, what do you want as a sports fan? Right now, as a Cowboys fan, I would take one. Give me one. I don't need 3 in 4 years. I'll take it. If anybody's handing out 3 Super Bowls in 4 years, I'll take it. But if we can buy one, the Cowboys can buy one. I want Jerry Jones to do it, and that's what the Rams did. They went out and bought it. They did everything they had to do, including selling a lot of draft capital. And at the time, people said, "Well, it's just draft picks. It's no big deal. It's just draft picks." That's coming back to hurt them now because you have an aging team. But James, they just won a Super Bowl. Yeah, I know, but they have an aging team. And how do you rebuild it if you don't have draft picks? Rams are going to find out. How bad is it going to get? Or is it just a couple of is it finding the replacement to Matt Stafford? Finding the replacement to Von Miller? Putting more support around a Cooper Kupp? We're going to see with the Rams in the next couple of years. Observation number 3. Coming into this season, it was announced for the first time that the National Hockey League was allowing jersey ads on the sweaters for the first time. Small patch, top right corner, right shoulder, right chest. Hockey fans lost their minds, man. And it's similar to when during the pandemic, the bubble season or the bubble playoffs, and then the next season, with limited capacity, the NHL allowed for helmet sponsors for the first time ever, and people went crazy then because they're afraid they're gonna turn into the European hockey jerseys and helmets. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you're not a huge hockey fan, just go to Google, go to your favorite search engine. It doesn't have to be Google. I don't want to tell you what to do, but go to Google, type in European hockey jersey ads, and be prepared to be horrified by what you're about to see. They are a skating billboard on an ice that's a frozen billboard. But what people don't realize is the difference between the National Hockey League and these European leagues is the European leagues, if they didn't do that with all the sponsors, they wouldn't exist. The National Hockey League can exist without the jersey ads and helmet ads, and probably even without the board ads. You'd be paying a hell of a lot more at the ticket gate, but that's what I think a lot of hockey fans forget. So for me, I was like, look, I've grown up in going to American Hockey League games. I've only been to about a handful of National Hockey League games in my adult life. I've been to 3 Washington Capitals games and I think 4 Flyers games. So that's under 2 handfuls. But I've been to countless minor league games. The Reading Royals, the Hershey Bears. There's probably some others. And they've always had jersey ads. The Hershey Bears have had a jersey sponsor, Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield, going back into the mid-90s. Recently, they've begun having a helmet sponsor as well for the first time, which I think currently is PSECU. Central Pennsylvania hockey fans, you can check me on that. Tweet me at Big Jim Sports if I got it wrong, or you can tell me I got it right. So I didn't mind the helmet ads. I'm like, look, here's the deal. You're watching a game on TV or in person. You're not close to the ice. You're barely going to see it. Same with the jersey ads. But something the NHL is also playing around with, and as you can learn, any revenue opportunity, those opportunities don't go away. Like once they're determined that they're okay, they're there for life. So what they're doing this year is in the arena, you have your sponsors on the dasher boards, your perimeter of the rink. But on TV, if you watch, you're not seeing what they see in the arena. You're seeing a CGI ad. Sometimes it's multiple ads. Sometimes it's for the network you're watching the game on. Sometimes it's for Ford or Subway or Budweiser or Bud Light. And that's okay. It's okay. But the problem is there are times when they will change during play. And you just see all this motion. Or they move during play. It's like a video ad on the board. Or like sometimes, the one game I was watching with the Capitals last week, it was because it's CGI. It was like jittery. It almost made me like motion sick watching the game. That's far more distracting than a Caesars Sportsbook ad on the Capitals jersey. That to me is far more egregious. It's not even that it's a CGI ad, because they've had CGI ads behind the net on the glass for like the last 5 seasons. They've had CGI ads on the ice. They've put them on the ice starting with, I think, last year. So it's not the CGI ad. It's that they change and move during play. It's distracting. And that's what I don't like about it. So maybe my hope is that like they'll continue the ads, but not have them move during play. Probably not. Let's get real. Sidebar. The Washington Capitals, my Washington Capitals, have had an awful start to the year. They're about 500. It's not that they're really in the dumps. But the injury bug has bitten them hard. They started the year without their starting center, Nicholas Backstrom, starting winger, Tom Wilson. Now you've lost TJ Oshie long-term, Connor Brown long-term. Connor Brown was the guy who came in to take Wilson's place for half the year, recovering from an ACL injury. Connor Brown's out for the year. John Carlson, your captain defenseman, alternate captain defenseman. There's numerous injuries, more injuries that happened this week. The Capitals are about the point they're going to be playing with an AHL roster here in a minute, but neither here nor there. Mike will keep everybody posted on the National Hockey League. Everything you need to know in the National Hockey League on the Five for Fighting coming up on this feed Thursday of next week. Bing. I'm still trying to. This is my moving on here in my fourth observation. I'm still trying to get into the NBA in the Sixers more. I was teasing and texting Ernest and Kyle earlier today, and I always joke with Ernest that he's not an actual hockey fan. So Ernest is a huge NBA fan. He's about as big of an NBA fan as I am an NHL fan. And he's kind of to the NHL what I am to the NBA, and kind of just trying to get into it more, almost like a novice fan, I think is what Ernest told me in the text earlier today. But I'm trying, man. Like over the last couple of years, we changed our cable so I get the Sixers games, and I'm just trying to get into it. Like I want to get down to some Sixers games, and because like. I feel like if I have if I'm the host of a sports podcast and I'm on Ernest podcast talking sports, I'm on Student Game podcast talking about sports, that I should probably broaden more than just football, baseball, hockey. There's a fourth major sport in the U.S. and I should probably do my best to get into it. So I'm trying. I watched a lot of the playoff basketball last year. The challenge is basketball, the NBA, and the NHL run at the same time. So to the balance of trying to watch both can be difficult. But I'm working on it. Go Sixers. Lastly, as we are heading into what is the midway point of the National Football League season. Now, last night we saw the Eagles improve to 8-0. Defeating the Houston Texans. I want to look at the teams going into week number 9 that are the contenders, kind of like contenders, pretenders. And I'm not talking for like a Super Bowl championship. I'm just talking about like, are these teams, and I'm looking at the ones that I consider to still be alive, whether it's just technically or actually. In the National Football League right now, going into week 9, I'm not doing any of the division leaders. So these are just starting with the number 1 wild card team through some of the teams on the outside looking in. And I'll start with the AFC, the 5-3 Jets sitting in the number 1 wild card spot. This is a hard team to read because their quarterback's not great. The quarterback's not really that good. They lost Breece Hall, who was the feel-good story of the year, rookie of the year. They bring in James Robinson from the Jaguars. They still have Michael Carter. They have a bunch of receivers nobody's heard of. A defense that's playing well and a young head coach that has a lot to prove and has a chip on his shoulder. So you know what? I'm gonna buy that the Jets are contenders for a playoff spot. That this team is going to remain in the hunt. They're not going to fall apart. The Dolphins at 5-3, absolute contender. As long as Tua stays healthy, this team is a contender. This team looks completely different with Tua under center for the Dolphins. If he gets hurt again, pretender. If he stays healthy, contender. The LA Chargers. Woof. Another complicated one. Because I believe, I mean, they have the roster. And like I don't think that their failures fall just on the coaching staff. Like, it just seems like something's missing. Is it offensive line play? Is it defensive play? Is it like I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna go Pretenders. I'm gonna go, even though they're in a division that you can make ground in this year, apparently, because nothing makes sense. I'm gonna go Pretender. The New England Patriots at 4-4. Can I go push? Like over under? Can I go push? Give him a push. No. I'm gonna go Pretender because they don't know what they're doing at quarterback. Is it Zappy? Is it Jones? There's just too much volatility there. The Patriots are Pretenders. The Bengals. Oh, Bengals. When I made my power rankings this past week, and there's words I never thought I'd say, but when I made my power rankings this week, I had them penciled in at 4. Because I'm like, there's no way they can lose to the Browns, right? Right? Uh-oh. And not only did they lose the Brown, man, they got their shit pushed in. Like, it wasn't good. They got their asses kicked by the Browns. Yeah, I know they're missing Jamar Chase and half their defense, and I'm sure Big Mike will tell me who else they were missing. But man, if you're that close, because it's not even like it was a close game, and like the Browns just caught you late. Like you just got your ass kicked. Like if you're that close to being bad, I can't buy you as good. Now, considering that the two teams ahead of you are Pretenders, I'll go Contenders on the Bengals. Absolutely. Figure it out, though. You got to figure it out. The last one that I have here, and I'm only putting them in here because I don't know what this team is with Sam Ehlinger, the 3-4-1 Indianapolis Colts. Because I mean, they're what, a game and a half out of the last wild card spot right now at the halfway point. Like, I can't totally lock them out, but man, you got to move now. Sam Ehlinger, the offense did look a little bit better. They still lost last week, but they looked better. So maybe he'll settle in. I don't know. Figure out how to use Jonathan Taylor, please. I have him on my fantasy team, please. But ultimately, I'm going to go Pretender. This thing's a dumpster fire. The fire's getting bigger. I think Frank Reich is going to find his way out of that coaching spot. NFC. You know what? For the NFC, I'm going to work from the bottom up. The 3-5 Green Bay Packers. Boy, did they put a scare in the Buffalo Bills, huh? Ron Charlie Rodgers out there slinging it. The Bills wanted to give that game away. The Packers just couldn't take it. That right there's the problem. The Packers used to be that team that when they smelled blood, they went in for the kill. Now they can't even smell. Is loss of smell a side effect of ayahuasca? I don't know. Ask Aaron. I'm gonna go Pretender. I don't believe this team can put it back together enough to get into the playoffs. They're too young. They're inexperienced. I think there's a lack of trust in that room with each other. So yeah, this is bad news for Rodgers and the Packers. The 3-5 Bucks. Ooh, turmoil, injury, drama, angry Tom. It's been a recipe for disaster to start this year for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and does the settlement on the divorce make it better? We haven't seen the Bucks since last Thursday. We're gonna find out in 2 days. I'm gonna go Contender. for a playoff spot because they're in a division that's currently led by the Atlanta Fraud Guns. So, yeah, I'll go contender just based on that alone. But this team's not good. The Rams. We were just talking about the Rams. Quarterback's arm's falling off. Cup banged up. No running game. Defense looks suspect. Pretender. Rams, here it is. You know our Tuesday segment, lock it up. Rams are not making the playoffs. Lock it up. Commanders. Remember Ernest E.J. Christian on our show, on the preview show, has this team going to the playoffs? Playoffs? I know, Jim Mora. Not good. Tyler Heineke under center. Ratcheting a couple wins together. Is this going to be a magic season in Washington? No. The bubble's going to burst on this team. Contender. Or excuse me, pretender. Ooh. Don't lump me in with EJ. Pretender. 49ers. 4-4 49ers. Contender. Now, I will say this, and I'll reiterate something I said on the Huddle Up podcast this past week. Bing! This team, I need to see more. I need to see more if we want to start talking deep playoff run, Super Bowl run. I need to see more out of this team. But Christian McCaffrey, if he stays healthy, provides an element to this offense they didn't have before. And an element that can make them a great team. So I have them as a contender. The New York Giants. Oh boy. 6-2. Losses to the Seahawks and the Cowboys. That's the Riptide Rush quarterback to Cowboys. I will go playoff contender based on current record and schedule alone. Now, do I truly believe in my heart of hearts the New York Giants are going to be in the playoffs at season's end? I do not. But based on how weak the NFC schedule is for them, the NFC East schedule is, and the fact that they are 2 games up on their closest competition, and there's 2 teams at 4-4, 2 games behind the Giants. One of those is a team in their division. You win those games, the math is on the Giants' side. They are a playoff contender to make the playoffs. They will lose in the first week if they make it. Finally, 6-2, my Dallas Cowboys, absolute contender. I know. Homer. I know. But let's be honest here. Look at the rest. Look at the field. Okay? Even if you're looking at division winners, let's call the Vikings a lock. Let's call the Eagles a lock. Are the Seahawks a lock in the West? Probably not. So maybe the Niners catch them. Are the Cowboys better than either the Seahawks or the Niners? They're better than the team that's not going to win the division. I know that. Because right now I believe the Niners are going to catch the Seahawks and win that division. So I think the Cowboys are better than the Seahawks. Then let's look at the South. Are the Cowboys better than the Bucks or the Falcons? Fraud cons. I know they lost to the Bucks. That was a whole different world in week 1. Right now the Cowboys are better than the Bucks. They're definitely better than the fraud cons. Okay? Are the Cowboys better than the Green Bay Packers? Yes. Are they better than the New York Giants? Yes. Are they better than the Commanders? Yes. Are they better than the Rams? Yes. They beat him with Riptide Rush. So based on simple math, the Cowboys are playoff contenders. Now, are they going to make a deep run? They have the roster to. They have the defense to. Now it's up to Dak. It's up to McCarthy. It's up to Kellen Moore. It's up to Jerry Jones not to screw it up. They're absolute playoff contenders. If I was doing NFC champion contenders, the Cowboys are in the discussion. Absolutely in the discussion. But that's not what we're doing here. So there it is. There's my 5 observations from the week that was. Like I said, I wanted to get these in tonight here on Friday. You'll be probably catching this Saturday morning as you're getting ready for a college football Saturday, and a big one at that. And then the NFL Sunday. It's going to be a busy weekend for me, so I wanted to make sure I got this taken care of. And so it's going to come out either Friday nights, Saturday nights, maybe even late Sunday night after an NFL Sunday. But you can expect to see these from me each and every week, at least while we do the live shows during the football season. If you enjoy the format, let us know at Huddle Up Podcast on Facebook and Twitter, huddleuppodcast@gmail.com. Or no, Huddle Up Podcast at outlook.com, my bad. You can also subscribe to us, all podcast platforms, YouTube, TikTok. Get our merchandise over at tpublic.com. The easiest place to get everything Huddle Up related is go to facebook.com/Huddle Up Podcast, Twitter @Huddle Up Podcast, and hit the link tree. All of it's right there. If you ever have any suggestions, things you want to hear, things you want us to do differently, please reach out. We'd love to hear feedback from everybody. And until Tuesday night when we are live, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Please enjoy your weekend. Stay safe, stay smart, and go for the win.